Let me know if this sounds familiar. You are a woman in your 40s, and what you keep hearing is that this is the beginning of the end, that your beauty is fading, your energy is decreasing, and that you should really lower your expectations. And me personally, I'm not buying into that story because this is not what I see around me. What I see is women rising, women who have done hard things, women who are done shrinking themselves, and women who raise their standards and who let go of what doesn't fit anymore. I sincerely hope that by the end of this video, you will feel that shift too. Away from the story of decline and closer to the strong inner compass that has been there all along. My name is Dr. Johanna Kennedy. I'm a mother of 3 girls, a birth doula, and hospice volunteer. Welcome to my channel, where we keep death close to live more fully. What do I mean when I talk about our inner compass in midlife? If you're in your late 30s, 40s, early 50s, and you feel restless, or you feel like you're changing, or you suddenly cannot tolerate certain things anymore, or you feel this hunger for life again, then you probably know what I mean. It's like something inside of you is waking up. For so many of us, our 20s and 30s were about building a career or building a family, finding a partner, becoming a mother, keeping everyone alive. Honestly, it's a lot. And then you enter this midlife phase and it's like, okay, I've done this for a while. I've done hard things. I've carried people. I've held so much. And now I don't want to keep going like this. It's not a crisis. It's more like I'm peeling things off that don't belong to me anymore. People pleasing, performing, or living by rules I never even consciously chose. I think perimenopause is part of that. It's not only hormones, it's also just truth. Your body is more honest. Your energy is so very honest. And your patience is more honest as well. And suddenly you start asking questions you maybe didn't have time for before. Like, what actually fuels me? What kind of relationships do I want? And what do I want my days to feel like? How do I want to live the second half of my life? Because this is what it is. I'm saying this on purpose. Because if we're lucky, we get to 80, maybe even 90. But 80 is already a good age and not everyone gets there. So I'm taking it seriously. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, yes, exactly, and you want to have these conversations with other women, then I want to invite you to join the No Regrets Women Circle, which is the sponsor of this episode. I created the circle because I don't think we're meant to go through this phase alone. In this circle, we go through different seasons of life together. Every 3 months, we focus on a different part of life. Until March, we are in the body and health season. We have monthly live calls and 3 weekly check-ins. You can join anytime through the link in the description. Okay, back to the episode. To the contrary of what we keep hearing, midlife is not you becoming selfish. Midlife is you becoming braver. You are noticing with great clarity what costs you energy, and you are also very aware of what gives you life. But this story keeps persisting. I often hear it especially framed by men, that women get so selfish in midlife. And I'm like, where are those women? Honestly, I don't know a single woman whose deepest desire is to be selfish. Most women that I know want to give. They want to care. They want to contribute. They want to love and they want to build community. They just don't want to do it from an empty battery anymore, which should be celebrated. Most women feel it in their romantic relationships first. This new awakening, relationships. And I actually think that's not a bad thing. I think it's an incredible opportunity. If we learn to speak without blame, if we take radical responsibility for the areas where we co-created the patterns that we now resent, we have a possibility here to rebuild our relationship into something stronger and more fulfilling. But you don't get there by blaming your partner for everything. It happens so easily, I get that, especially when you're just so tired of the draining dynamics you created over the years. But if we take an honest look at the dynamics we're unhappy with, we co-created them. We did. We helped build them. We were the ones who said yes too often. We were the ones who didn't ask for what we needed, and the ones who tried to be easy and pleasant and low maintenance. At least this is very true for me. And then one day we wake up and we're like, why am I doing everything? Why am I so exhausted? Why do I feel unseen and so resentful? So this is where radical honesty and radical responsibility comes in. You didn't end up in your relationship dynamics by accident. You co-created them. And that sounds harsh, but it's actually empowering. Because if you co-created it, you can rebuild it. That is what midlife gives you: honesty and the courage to change what is not working. And if our partner can grow with us, honestly, this can become the best relationship we ever had, the best intimacy we ever had. When you are not trying to get pregnant anymore, when the survival mode you were in with tiny kids is changing into something more free, you might surprise yourself and end up having the best sex you ever had. But please, just to be very clear, remember that you can still get pregnant for a pretty long time. And I am personally terrified of a surprise pregnancy at 48. So let's stay realistic. But you know what I mean. The whole energy around intimacy can drastically change. And then our midlife compass also shows up in work, in your purpose, in the meaning of your life. A lot of women I know, they start questioning what they are doing. Like, is this even worth my time? Is it worth my energy? Many women don't become more selfish. They often move away from purely money-driven goals and into something that feels more meaningful. They leave secure jobs and start their own heart businesses. They volunteer, they mentor, they care for others in a new way. They get involved in their community and they want to do something that actually matters to them. And I think this is where my whole keeping death close, living more fully theme comes in. Because when you get close to illness or death or caregiving, it changes you. It makes you ask, what do I want to do with the time I have left? What will I be proud of? What will feel like, yes, that was my life? On my last birthday, a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine pulled a card for me from a deck. And the card was called Trust Interdependence. And it really, really spoke to me. Through acts of service, our calling is to wake up and assume responsibilities that will be of benefit to the whole. The magnitude of grace signaled by trust interdependence is too big for us to hold alone. As we orient ourselves to the well-being of others, we multiply this merit by sharing it. This is exactly what I see in the women around me. They enrich the people around them with their creativity, with their wits, with their humor, and their incredible strength. Perimenopause is not only about hormones. It's about truth. It's about the moment you stop serving from an empty battery. And you start asking, what would it look like to give from fullness? Because that kind of giving is the most valuable for yourself and the world. This reclaiming of self, it's not about becoming a lone wolf and cutting everyone off. It's about becoming your most authentic self. About building a life that is actually sustainable, where you can contribute to the world around you. And instead of feeling drained afterwards, you will be nourished by that contribution because you give from a place where you are supported and where you belong. So if you're listening to this and this sounds true for you, then let your inner compass lead you. Your body is so wise at this age. It is showing you the way. What relationships feel good to you? Where can you be soft? What exercises make you feel stronger? And what cause feels inspiring enough for you to dedicate your time and energy to it? The answers are all already there inside of you. We are just not very used to listen yet. But believe me, once you start following that inner compass, you gain more confidence with every step, and you can walk through this chapter of your life with more joy and fulfillment than you ever thought possible. I would really love to hear from you in the comments. Where do you feel your inner compass the most right now? Is it in your relationship or your work? Let me know. I cannot wait to read what came up for you. The next video in this series is about the highest ROI habits in perimenopause. Basically, the practical counterpart to the energy leaks episode. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. May you have a wonderful day, and may you sprinkle some magic dust on the world around you.